Okay, today I have a condenser fan motor, and it's an old condensing unit. I fixed a freon leak on it not too long ago on a roof. It was sleeting rain yesterday. I had to get up there and pull this out, but this motor's it's bound up. It's pretty shot. It won't even turn. My problem is it's a current company, Fasco, but I'm not able to get the this motor. I went to 4 supply houses. One of them was a motor shop, very good motor shop, and because of this type of a bracket, the 4 supply houses didn't have it available, and the motor shop called Fasco, and it's just not in production. And if if I want it, I have to they have to go back and have it made up, which is going to take months. So I have to innovate a little bit. This bracket here, it's mounted on this frame. Let's see if I can set this up quick. Like this. And it was bolted in 3 spots. And it's held pretty stable. It's a big 1/2 horsepower motor, which is fairly good size. It's a condenser. It's a pretty healthy fan blade on it. So what I'm going to have to do is here's the replacement motor. It's larger this way, which is going to move the fan blade closer to the condenser. It's larger this way. It's going to move the fan blade closer to the condenser, which is a concern. And I'm going to have to cut the shaft down on this a bit, I'm sure. And I'm going to have to trim these off, or I may push these back this way some, just to get a little bit more purchase on it. But what I'm going to end up having to do is drill holes here. I'm going to have to drill a hole here and catch this one, and these two are going to be close, but these little bolts, I'm worried about this large blade racking on me, shaking. So what I'm going to have to do is adapt a piece of flat steel in across the bottom and tack it with a welder to give me some stability. But this is what you come up with old equipment, and you got to learn how to deal with it. Air conditioning equipment, you change the unit every couple of years, so you don't really, all the parts are current. Usually on a condenser fan motor, you just run out and get another one and put it in. But this one, it's a little more difficult. The guy's walking coolers down, and his customers are complaining about the beer and soda being warm, and he wants this done right away, so I have to hurry on this. But that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm going to measure the holes, drill them, weld this flat stock across here, and adapt it and try to get it secure. Usually these motors are band mounted, or sometimes they're front mounted. They did have a band adaption clamp with some feet on it, and it just didn't look sturdy enough, because this blade is pretty big, and I'm just afraid if it'd wobble loose from it. But it might not. But this I feel would be a more secure, stable setup. hopefully these little tiny screws hold okay. Okay, I gotta get started on this. Have the drill, get these holes. I use a drill that's a little bit larger, because I'm eyeing the made the marks by eye. I may have to oval out one hole or another. Drill press does nice work. It's not an expensive drill press, but it works good. I have to drill a hole here and then weld the bracket in down here. I got these two holes drilled. They're fairly good. I have to mark this one by eye, and then I'll drill it on the drill press. That went pretty easy. This metal's not that thick. I sharpened these drill bits myself. I'll show you the it's my grinder over here, and this that tool right there is made by General. The company is General Drill Attachment, and if you read the instructions and all that and use the grinding wheel, it'll put a pretty sharp edge on your drills. You turn it by hand, do one side, then do the other side. Does a nice it makes a nice sharp drill bit. Over the years, I've accumulated a lot of drill bits, and at one point I just went out and bought a sharpener, and I sharpened all the drills. Now I have a big selection of I have a drill cabinet over here. I've got a lot of drill bits in there, and I had a lot of dull drill bits, and now they're all sharp. Okay, I got the 3 holes drilled. That went pretty easy. They lined up fairly good. What's important is to get the shaft in the same spot as it was before, because the fan blade fits into a shroud, and if this is up high or too low or left or right, the fan blade is going to be hitting the shroud, and then you're cutting away shroud and it's a mess. So I tried very hard to get the exact height on it, because you can't lower it or the fan blade will hit the base, and you can't raise it, it'll hit the top of the shroud. So I tried very hard to get it exactly. Worst comes to worst, I'll have to drill the feet, a screw or something like that if I have to, but I'm hoping I don't have to do that. Now I have to measure this hole, drill it, and then cut these, clamp it up and all, and then do some welds. Next step. Here's the cutoff saw. It's a jet cutoff saw. I haven't had this in a long time. Good piece of equipment for doing a lot of, if you're doing welding and stuff. I have a scrap piece of metal now. Okay, let's see. Get everybody on board. And it looks like that'll do the trick. Looks like it's a little crooked, but let's take a measure. Okay, that's good. Now what I want to do is clamp it. With the new equipment today, everything is pretty much standardized. You don't usually have to do something like this in the field. Occasionally, well, especially in the refrigeration field, there's a lot of equipment out there that's 40 years old, and they don't particularly have I have to take off a little here. They don't particularly have everything the same back in 30, 40 years ago. Today, a lot of the motors are interchangeable, and that's kind of nice. This welder ball. Little MIG welder by Miller Electric. Miller makes good welders. Lincoln makes good welders. They're right here in Cleveland too. There's spiders in my hat here. much sawdust around here. Okay. Plug it in. I have a green welder's coat, but I'm not going to put it on just for this little cap. Okay, I got the 4 bolts in, they fit pretty nice. I got a little bit of play, I just have to put washers on it and lock washers and tighten it all up. And I'll be a happy camper. Now this one has a lock washer on it, I'll put it right on there. These are the only time I have to use this, it's 11/30 seconds, is these motor bolts. I have to carry this around all the time just for these. It's too bad they didn't just go to the 3/8 and they just make life simple for everybody. Okay, that's down tight. I got to carry this stuff around with you all the time. You hardly ever use it, once in a long while. But these are the little lock washers. You want to use those. You don't want the screws to come loose on you unless you have the type of screws with the little plastic retainers in them that holds this from turning. Actually got to loosen this one up a little bit. These screws, I mean these nuts, at the supply house I have to pick up these packs of hex assorted nuts. They come in pretty. I got this at United Refrigeration, and I got some at my other refrigeration sales supply house, but I have to keep it in my nut and bolt drawer. I usually keep these in there too, because you never know when you're going to need it, and it saves having to go to the hardware store just for the one little thing. Okay, that looks good. Now I have to cut the shaft down and do that fast. Get the right shaft. Hopefully I don't have a problem here. According to this, I'm going to have a little stubby. I might be re-drilling these the base holes. Wish I had the fan blade with me. Let me get that. Glasses right here. Might as well put them on. Plastic safety glasses. Okay, I'm going to guesstimate it. I might have to cut it again. Done that a lot over the years. Got a little lip on this I got to take off. I could do it with the file, but this is faster. Good. I got a ground screw to take care of. So this is the ground wire goes over here on this nut and bolt. That's what I want to take off now. It's all metal to metal, and it's all bolted on, but it's just good to be a little extra careful. You never know what's going to happen. You don't want to get hurt, and you don't want anybody else to get hurt. Okay, ground wire is on good, and my wires, I'm going to do the capacitor. It's a little 10 microfarad 370 VAC cap. And it fits in fairly nice. Can't get that. Okay, that's good and tight. Now the wires, you've got a black and a yellow. That's your line, 208, 230 volts. And the brown wires are your capacitor leads. Now I have way too much wire, and I'm going to trim this down and re-splice these on there just to make it a little bit neater. I have a rubber boot to go over this capacitor. It's on the job. I'll put it on when I get there. But right now I want to just get this taken care of. It's nice working on your workbench rather than kneeling down in the wind on a roof someplace. Okay, wire tie on that. Okay, I don't like leaving wires all over the place. Some of the new units are coming out with just bare wires run around. I know the air conditioning industry has been doing that for a little while. Some of the refrigeration companies are doing it now. I don't particularly like that. I think it's kind of dangerous. You drop something on a fan motor or tool, hit it with a torch by accident. It's just not good. This old motor had, metal cable on the wires. I'm not going to do that, but what I do is I carry this. It's got a piece of it here. It's heat shrink tubing is what it is. I get it at my electrical supply house, and I just cover the wire with it just to make it look, dress it up. I also put wire ties on the unit so that you don't want the wires sticking out and hitting the fan blade. What will happen is you'll push them all away, you'll leave, put it all together, you'll leave, and then from vibration and expansion contraction, the wires will start hitting the fan blades. I trimmed off this extra wire from the capacitor. I dressed that up pretty neatly here. And I think we're ready to go throw this in the unit, climb up on the roof. Okay, next stop is on the roof. This is our unit. I did a video a few months ago, I think it was October, where I fixed the leak on this line here. And the old condenser fan motor finally went. And so I gotta get it installed. Okay, I got it in. And I have it adjusted all the way over. My clearance is a bit much here and a little bit tight on this side, but it's still fine. And I got to make sure that the blade turns that way. This motor's extended and it got pretty close. I had to trim some more off of the shaft on this thing, but I just have a ½ an inch. It's just close, that close. I thought for sure I was going to be re-drilling holes, but I just made it, and it'll work fine. The cup of the blade is this way, and this is my way to reverse it. Reverse the motor if I have to. I have to start up. I have to finish tightening these bolts down, and then I have to wire it in. But it's going okay. And I have to put these support brackets in to keep it from shaking. There's okay. Okay, I got the motor in and it's anchored down and it's supported, and it's not hitting. I'm wiring it up right now. I'm going through a BX connector, 90 degree, and the wiring is, let me zoom in a little bit here. The way this is wired is one leg goes on the hot terminal on the compressor, so when the compressor goes on, the condenser fan the circuit's complete. The other leg goes to here, which is the high pressure fan control, and then the other wire goes to the other terminal, so you have L1 and L2. This is 3-phase, so you can connect any of the two. Now here's something that's pretty piss poor. I don't like it. It's lazy as heck. Somebody installed this pressure control and they just ran the wires through the knockout. Now knockout has sharp edges on it, and this compressor is vibrating pretty strong, and you can't do that. It'll eat right through the insulation in time. Don't do things like that. I'm gonna put this BX connector on it. All right, now it's time to give it a try. See if we got the right direction or not. Okay, it's off right now on its pressure control. Got liquid refrigerant flooding back. That's not good at all. It didn't go into a pump down cycle. Alright, it's calming down a little. Head pressure should be building up, and the fan control should kick in a minute. I hope. Unless the control's bad. We're warm. That's a good sign. Is this warm? going on in a second now. I'm concerned about this control, this old control. Better go put my gauges on it. Oh, there we go. And I believe it's turning in the wrong direction. Yep. It's going backwards. Got to cup the air, pull the air this way. So I'm going to reverse it right now. Just as easy as spinning that around. Let's see if I got it right. Sorry about that. That's working the right way now. Get the heat out of it. Looks full. Check it again in a couple of minutes. Balance out. We just, not too long ago, we fixed the leak over here. This vibrated into the steel. I cut the steel back. Holding the gas pretty good. This is really a mess. Look at this, the way these wires are. Look how they're shaking. If you can see it. Yeah, I don't think the camera's picking it up, but it's shaking a lot. What's going to happen is it'll crack, it'll vibrate against something. It's very poorly done. I had to pump it all down to redo it or I just have to wait until it breaks. It's been like that a number of years. Just look at this. The guy didn't even get this on. It broke off. Okay guys, we gotta readapt this thing. You see the new bracket down there? And the 4 bolts on it are pretty snug. I wanted to see if this was going to shake at all, but it's not. It's pretty sturdy. So I'm pretty happy. Thing's still full of gas. fix this leak in October. But that's all, guys. Later.